left already.
Oh, GG.
Oh, you're the first person, man, who actually.
Why 不会啊
Please do.
Live already ah?
Left already. Okay, so hello, testing. Hi. So welcome to the 64th JCRC presidential debate. And it's going on right now. Thank you for coming down, and for those who actually tuning in, thanks for tuning in from wherever you are. So right here we have our candidates running for the 64th JCRC presidential debate. Here we have Kenneth, who's running for the president, and Celine running for the vice president position. So would you like to do like a little introduction of ourselves?
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Kenneth. So I'm actually year 3 FASS student majoring in Chinese studies. And then I've been in CCAs like hall play, senior, dance, and angels in my year 1. Yeah. Okay. I'll pass the time to Celine.
Hi everyone, I'm Celine. So I'm currently year 2 nursing student, and I'm this year's sport director, and I've been in floorball, soccer, like hopping.
Oh, okay. Woo. Yes, thank you. So now I'll be explaining about the outline of this debate. So mainly there will be 3 main categories. Firstly, it's like general plans for the next academic year and the evaluations of current measures. So based on the questions that we have gathered, I've gathered them into 3 main categories. And so basically, first we'll actually go through the questions from the form submission, and afterwards we'll open the questions to the floor. So let's say if there's any other follow-up questions that you may want to raise after each question, you may do so. Or maybe in the live chat, you can just type in the live chat. Yes. Okay, so for those who are currently tuning in the live chat, thanks for tuning in. Secondly, I would like to seek your cooperation to not flood the live chat and only type when you have like any meaningful questions to ask. So, next. Thank you for the overwhelming responses from the questions submitted by all of you, because there's like really quite a lot of questions to be addressed. So we would like to seek your understanding that this debate may exceed the 30 minutes time frame. So just in case, apologies for the inconvenience. So lastly, there will be a few similar questions asked in different ways. So some questions will be rephrased slightly to like cater to more residents. And right now we will actually start the debate questions. So moving on, we'll start with general. And the first questions for you guys is, okay, I'll just pick it up. So what does taking on a president or vice president position in JCRC means to you? And how would your involvement impact the Kivian community and how?
Okay, so maybe I'll start off first. So like being elected as a president, I would think that it is an opportunity for me to contribute back as a receiver since like year 1 as a Kivian. So why not other roles, but why the leader of the hall, if some of you guys may ask. But I think what I can say is that I want to steer the hall towards like a better place. Like I want to create a vision. So being the president would mean that I will have a greater ability and greater power and greater mobility of like shaping the hall. So that is what I want to achieve. Yeah. So that is what this position means to me. And how will my involvement impact the K7 residents' life, and how the hall will be like? I would hope to instill like certain sense of like pride and like having that confidence and having that initiative to keep everyone moving. Yeah, I feel like right now everyone is very keeping their pride very hidden. Like people don't really say out how much they love KE7, and I think that is something that we can change. Yeah.
So for me, it's that what does it mean to be the vice president what does it mean to be a vice president is that I think I can impact the hall like in a bigger scale and not just sports sector because I'm the sports director. Yeah, and also I think together as a vice president you can do so much more with more manpower, and that I think my interest is not just in sports to begin with also. Yeah, and so how am I gonna like involve in making an impact in KE is that I think, okay, from my experience as sports director is that I think KE has a lot of potential, but I think we lack the like spirit. So I feel like together with Kenneth, and Kenneth is like super around, like so together with Kenneth, and I think we can actually help to inculcate like the more fire up like spirit in our residents, and that will actually make like our Kivians community like more lively, I guess.
Because I would think that impact sounds like a very big and intangible word. So like I feel that we need to start small and start somewhere, and like to experience a change. So if you were to paint out a very unrealistic and like big picture, we can, but why not start small and start like what our philosophy is that we want to invest in the humans, like in the people, so like the CCA leaders can bring the whole hall together. So I think that is one thing that we want to at least have a small impact first. Yeah.
Sure, thanks. So next question is, seeing as there are no other candidates running for this year's election, so why should residents vote for you?
I think this is a recurring problem, like for many years. It's been like the third year of like being a single team. And I think that before I answer the question properly, I think that this is a problem in the sense that people are not invested enough for the hall to actually take up a position. I mean, if people were to have more teams, I would love to see more teams running against. I think with competition, this healthy competition will bring hall to a higher place as well. So like, seeing there's only one team, right, I would say like you can exercise the voting rights. Please exercise the voting rights. Because like, I think that even if we don't get elected and you guys actually said no, at least there is actually a sense of involvement in the hall, and I think that is what we want to see as well. Like, obviously, like after this debate, you may actually buy into our belief system of like being more involved and being more invested and being more wanting to have a say in the hall. Then vote for us, and we'll have a change together. Yeah. So.
I think it's like we started out together, like we partnered up not to actually win as in this election, because we know that there are many other, as initially we thought that there are many other teams.
Yeah.
So we just want to try actually, and try, but then like we wanted to see how the hall responds to this also. Yeah, and also I feel like we would be happy that if you just vote, like no matter what's your answer. Yeah. So we hope that, but of course we hope that you give us a chance. Like actually trust us and whatever that we believe in.
Okay, so next question is, do you believe that you are the best suited candidate to run for JCRC?
Okay.
So I feel like there's no such thing as the best suited, because everyone is actually good in something, right? But I think because we started out like this because we want to step up, we have the passion, we have the interest to actually do this. Yeah. So we might not be the best, but I think we do have the proper like assets, like
experience.
Yes.
The passion.
Yes.
Yeah. So like.
For example, this year I'm in JCRC already, and then in Hoping. Then last year I have not been in any production before, like to be an exco, but after being part of the team, I feel like I learned a lot. Yeah. So I get to see like KE in many different like perspectives. So which is why I think we might not be the best, but we do have like an idea of what is actually going on. Yeah.
And to add on with what Celine has just said, as CC leaders, we do face like problems and like bad leadership experience maybe, but because of that we actually learn from our mistakes, and actually that's what we hope to actually not commit the same mistakes, and actually as leaders of the hall, asking CCA leaders not to commit those mistakes as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So, next question is, how would you evaluate the current dean of JCRC? So, what are your strengths or weaknesses? And is there anything that can be improved on? So, yeah, hope to hear your opinions. And Kenneth, you are the producer of this year's hall play, and Celine, you are the current dean in JCRC. So, yeah, both of you may want to offer some things for advice.
So, strengths and weaknesses of the current batch of JCRC. I would say, let me start with the good points first. I think strength-wise, I think Dylan sort of has a drive. Like, I can see that he's actually aggressive in a sense. Like, aggressive may not sound like a good word, but like, I think he really is.
But he has a vision.
Yeah, he has a vision to actually
he has a vision.
steer the whole entire JCRC. So I think that is the strength of it, and also like, yeah.
Yeah, strength.
Strength.
Okay. So I think this year we did try to tidy up a lot of like, I guess we did try to make up for, I don't know, for budget side. I think Sengu did a good job. So, because he actually did try to manage the budget. Like he did ask a lot of us to submit proposal and everything, but then he don't just look at the proposal, but he how to say like work with us closely. Not just look at the paperwork. And also he also take the initiative to like ask what we need and everything. Yeah. So I think that's something good.
Yeah. So moving on to the weaknesses, I think because I am the producer for this, so like I'll be having more interaction with the JCRC itself. So I think the weakness would be the disconnect between the JCRC and the student body, and the JCRC and the CCA leaders. Because I think that disconnect is something that is very pertinent and it's very obvious. And I think one thing would be that, as for my sector-wise, I feel that us fighting for the students' welfare is being like pushed away by the JCRC. So like it sort of defeats the purpose of the JCRC. So like I feel as our leadership, we want to, make the JCRC the voice of the people and not fighting against the CCA leaders. Because as a one of the production CCA leader, that's one thing I faced. And also one thing similarly to the disconnect, like people not knowing who the JCRC was and like what's their job scope, which I think that is very jarring to me. Like how can the residents not know what the JCRC are for? Who are the JCRC members? I think as important as JCRC members are the voice of the people, right? Like people need to know who to approach so that they can be the voice. So like, if the residents don't even know who the JCRC members are, then how to be the voice?
I think add on to what Kenneth said is like the existence of like the JCRC member, right? The existence of the JCRC member. So it's like I think he meant like we like the current team of JCRC are not don't work very closely together, like not involved in the process. Yeah, which I felt was the same also. And okay, for sports, let me just talk about sports. It's like I think this year is that some people feedback to me that like there are not enough people going down to support the team, something like that. But okay, one thing I think was that like for example, I did try to make SMC another structure from the previous year, but this structure I think it takes time to actually like roll down. Yeah. So because everyone is so new to this and I'm actually very, very new to this, so I actually learned along the way. So actually with the guidance of like my other seniors like Jiaqi and like Zhen Yang, yeah, they did actually contribute to a lot of like insights as to how should I actually run this new system. Yeah, and especially some seniors are actually along with me. But I feel like the root cause of why people are not motivated to go down to actually support the team. Like Like for example, Yusof, Temasek, they always got people to come down. They don't have to worry about it. I think the main reason is because of the hall culture, and people are not actually people don't feel for the CCA, and they don't see a reason why they need to go support unless it's their friends. Yeah, if I ask my SMC members to go down, yes, they will go down, but whether they will feel the spirit on the ground or not, it's something that I couldn't really force them. But I feel like it's something that the hall, as togetherness, we can do it together. Yeah.
I think one thing to actually give credit to Celine is that perhaps this year's JCRC, she's the only sports D, whereby past year's JCRC there's actually internal and external sports director. So at least right now it's a two-man show running by one woman. So I think that is something that we should give credit to.
Yeah,
and also she's new, so
I think I'll learn a lot from this.
So I mean moving on whether or not if it's a two-man sports D or a one-man sports D, we can know what are the potential downfall, and maybe other JCRC members can actually help her a lot more. So I think that is something that we can work on with which is the teamwork.
Yeah, and I think another, that's so good things is we did try to do a lot of new initiative, but I think it's because of SEM 2, so a lot of things got shut down, which is why probably you might think that the current batch of JCRC are not doing much in terms of welfare. Yeah, because there are actually a lot of new initiative coming out, I think, for the SEM 2.
Okay, sure. So, are there any follow-up questions you would like to raise?
Hi, yes.
You talk about having have an impact on hall, right? Both of you have had leadership positions before, so I'm sure that there must have been something that you've already have had an impact on in hall. So can you describe to me what you brought to the hall and how you executed it?
So maybe talking about my experience, in year 1 I was the hall play cast. Then in year 1 hall play there were only 30 members, 35-ish. And then in year 2 when I took up director role, together with my production manager Sandy, we actually brought the whole CCA up to a jarring number of 60 members strong. And I think, and this year being 80. So I think the impact wise, I think it can be felt that our standard of our quality of our production actually grows, and also how high our production value is. And right now, after we doing the hand takeover, our new batch, I have the confidence that they have the model and they have the sustainability to actually move on and put up a good show. So I think that is one thing I actually brought into KE, I feel, not to claim 100% credit, because half the credit I need to give to Sandy as well, which is my partner. Yeah, but I would say that is one thing that I've done, and that is also something that I want to add on, is that I know that I'm good in productions, so that is what I will focus on. But that not saying that I will discount all the other sectors, but with that, I think production, culture, and welfare, production and culture, it will be my focus area, while sports will be Celine's focus area. So that's how we contribute and complement each other. Yeah. So that's.
But I think we won't just focus on what we have experience in. We will also try to help each other in other CCAs, the other sectors. So for me, it's that
The impact. What have you
Okay, so I think one of the impact is the structure change in the SMC. Yeah, so is that previous year was that you need a lot of volunteers to go down to actually help give up the welfare of the teams. But then this year, because they are actually heads who are actually committed, and I did kind of do some interviews, or I did ask the people that I trust to be my heads, SMC heads. That's why I think it's better in a sense. And also, I feel having if you have not known, last time there's no one manager or two managers that is attached to one CCA. Yeah. So this year there's actually we allocated people to attach to certain CCAs, and and then they will go from the start of the AY until IHG actually ends. Yeah, so sometimes they will go training, like they will be there and help to, sometimes they will participate in like the trainings, but it depends on them. But I did like provide the avenue for them and for the CCA leaders, for sports team leaders and the SNC members to actually talk and also know each other since the start of the year. Yeah, which I hope to create a sense of like attachment in them so that they will follow them throughout, like until the IHG period where I don't have to go around and scout for people to help me to like go down to help them to give out their welfare, like admin stuff and everything. Yeah. So I think this year we have this problem solved up.
Can I ask a question about the manager's part? You mentioned that you implemented a system where each sports CCA has a manager that follows them, right? So, what were the roles that you assigned them, and do you feel like it was a successful venture, and how did the outcome of this manager system differ from your expectations?
Okay, I think one thing it comes down, like one thing that maybe the members, like, okay, the members itself who are attached to the CCA are not very sure of what's going on. But at the start of the year, there are like meetings to actually talk to them, like tell them what to do, and their heads are supposed to be there to guide them also. So with that, I think it's my goal to actually not make this CCA like a gold CCA, which only happens in IHG, but throughout like the year. But I feel like maybe as in there's not in like the people will only go down and support or like feel the passion of the sport if we actually win something. That's what I feel. And also, it's not to say that we are actually weak in sport, but I feel like it's all boils down to the culture. Yeah. And also, I think there are a lot more improvement to be made to the SNC structure and how the job scope can be rolled out. Yeah. So, but I feel like if people are more like involved and care about this thing, it's not that hard to actually tell people, okay, you go down today to, this is your sports day, so you go down, and then after that, and it's based on a sign-up basis, if you don't know, yeah. So I can't really force people to go down, but I feel like forcing doesn't solve the problem. So yeah. So I feel like they should have, not they should, but it would be good if they have the
initiative to actually like sign up for these things.
Yeah. So that would be.
Okay, thank you. So shall we move on to the next question?
Or they should at least have
sorry.
a question.
Okay, I got a question. You mentioned that, right, as the sports director, you have received a lot of support from past sports directors and seniors, right? I think as the vice president, there isn't this kind of support system. So, firstly, how confident are you of independently executing decisions? And secondly, given that the fact that how sure that if you receive support from people, how will you be sure that this does not lead to any conflicts of interest or abuse of power?
Okay. I feel like as in the support, I feel like there's no such thing as a like mentor for vice pres, but I think I can always ask them. But as in
I feel like this question, right, boils down to how the partnership between the vice president and the president were. Because like if the partnership is broken, like we are no longer like helping each other, then there will not be a support system, obviously. Then vice president has to reach out to other sources of support. But for instance, like she has a question, like she needs help, then the president naturally needs to be the support system for her. And I think that question of like, oh, so how independent is she gonna be, right? Doesn't really exist, because that if she really faces an issue, if she really faces a problem, she needs to come and find me. If not, I would find it incredibly like not accounted for lah.
yeah, like as in Kevin is my partner, so I should actually work together with him.
Yeah.
But I think what you're asking is that because I've been saying about like I have a lot of seniors who help me, but then now like there's no such thing, like maybe lesser. So how would I actually function properly, right? So I think it's that because I started out as a sports director, not being in what I did before. So I feel like I'm very lost inside, and I've learned along the way, which makes me need to ask a lot of times, and also like a lot of seniors to prompt me or something like that. But I feel like after all these like experience throughout these 2 SEM, I feel like I have learned much from the current JCRC team, not just from my sports, but also from other like sectors like production, finance, culture. As in, I don't physically help them, but I see what they do. So that will actually, that I won't be so lost, and I think I will have an idea of how to change it, or like even just have an idea of what should I do.
Okay, let's to my second question. Because it seems you're very receptive to input. So where will you draw the line towards like receiving constructive input versus conflicts of interest and abuse of power?
I think it will boil down to like whether the input given is reasonable or not. So if I think it's something that the senior has think that it's needs improvement, like because they have been through this. So if they think that I don't know, something like that, it should be done this way because I think this is the best way to do. I think I will take in the insights, and after that we will discuss as a team. I think I won't like fit everything that the senior said into my project, but to fit it according to what our dynamic assess the new batch of JCRC team.
I think one thing to actually note was that we had this discussion before this, and we are there to fight for the welfare of the people. Because this question can also be asked in another way, whereby what if residents give like unreasonable requests and like I want this welfare, I want that welfare. But we can't be people pleasers in the sense that we take in all sort of different suggestions and different ideas, right, that is unreasonable or not constructive at all. Then that is where we need to draw a line. And I think as a team, right, I think this needs to be clear in the sense that as a team, no one should be functioning alone. Like, if he or she has a problem, she needs to ask. If there's an unreasonable suggestion, if there's a rigid suggestion, then we need to find a solution for that. Or there's a certain red tape or certain rules and regulations that we can't ban, just can't ban. Then, so we need to find another leeway, or can we discuss further or negotiate further? So I think that is what we need to do as a team, and that is our belief system in the sense that we welcome ideas, we welcome suggestions, we welcome feedback, but we need to draw a line whereby we are not people pleaser, and we don't take in suggestions just because we like you, or we want you to like us.
Just one more, I guess, for Bobo. So, just now, I think Celine mentioned that in order for people to head down to support IHG teams, right, it has to have some meaning or culture that is built. So, how would you, as President Vice President, go about building that culture to get people to go support IHG? Given that, honestly, in KE now, our team is not up to par compared to other ones.
I go first. So this one, right, it all boils down to whether the team members actually ask their friends along to come and support them. They have trained hard enough. We have trained hard enough. But why not ask a few friends to come and support you? I think that's quite reasonable. It's like watching a production show. I buy tickets because I want to support my friend who is moving the set behind at the backstage. This is the same logic whereby if I train hard enough, why not ask a friend to come and support? Then that also needs to be aligned with the team leader, whereby each sport captain need to rally their people and then ask people to bring their friends, ask their friends to come along. Why not spend the evening watching an IHG match and scream their lungs out? I think that is quite reasonable in the sense that you guys have spent almost 1 SEM worth plus application worth of time just to train. Why not ask a few friends to come? In one team, maybe there's like 10 members. Each person bring 2 friends. That's like 20 members, I guess. So I think that is something that can be yes.
Out of topic. He's asking
Yeah.
Vice President and President what will you do?
What will we do, right? So that's what we need to align the team leaders whereby they need to ask the friends to come and watch.
I feel like we started to, as in, why we want to run for this president, this role ago is because we want to improve like the sense of attachment of the residents to the hall. So I feel like because we have a few initiatives, you want to share?
So like basically like yeah, so for example, right, like how this as one of our approach, right, is internally we want to have CCA leaders to be more invested and have more say in our hall. Then as of that, right, we want to have a sort of like a
we want to bring like JCRC to the leaders
Yes.
more closer together. So I think we have a few initiatives in mind. Something like
leadership
like
camp.
summit or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, but we hope to be involved, not like micromanage, but actually take part in whatever that the leaders want to do. Yeah, so I feel like with that, and also like it will create some sense of like belonging.
Yeah. So I mean like if it goes to the question of like people like not watching ISG matches, right, then it will be why are they not invested in the game itself, that they only want to play the game but not have people come and watch. Why not ask people to come and watch? Then like if they're more invested in the game, then like fans will come and watch as well. So I think it's a relationship kind of cycle.
Okay. Okay, actually, I believe that it's more aligned with your goals for next game, right? And since Kingston brought it up, I just want to like have a two-part question. You lead some to your plans for next year. Okay, so first I want to ask. Okay, so I believe that the lack of hall spirit is a valid problem, but it's a symptom rather than it being a problem itself. So firstly, what do you think causes the lack of a hall spirit?
I think the first thing is maybe people have too many CCAs, and then like we are not committed to one CCA. Yeah, which I feel like the attachment within that CCA is not very, very strong.
Actually, it's a lot of different problems. Like that is one. Like in hall residence population, like there's a spectrum of people. Whereby people who are extremely committed and join like many CCAs and overtire themselves, and then in the end like couldn't commit to only one or two out of 5 or many. Then there are some who are actually like we label them as phantoms, and then like those who only want to stay. Because they have this impression from their seniors that, oh, okay, somewhere is a very easy place to stay. That's why they choose here to stay. So like, there's this overarching idea that we are a very easy hall to stay in, whereby people don't understand, and this like bad impression that we are actually just very chill and very, well, I mean, I do admit that we are chill, but we work hard and play hard. Yeah, so as a 3-year resident here, I do take part in CCAs and all. So I think that I tire myself out of the CCAs as well. So I don't think KSM is that chill, honestly. But back to your question about the lack of hall spirit, the problem would it comes from us, right? Not saying out that we are actually loving what we have here. Like people not vocal about like how much they love they enjoyed their hall stay. I think that from like all the hashtag YKE, like it's all very limited and it's all very how to say
I think it's not very visible.
yeah, visible. So I think that is also like the branding itself is not done properly, like the social media space and all. Yeah. So like internally wise, it will be the events like hall-wide events are not being done properly, and like people only go there for the starters, for instance, but they don't really go
Like,
there to
feel what it's actually the event purpose is, like to actually integrate the residents together, which is not very fair.
Sorry, can I just?
Sorry.
Wait, you go first.
Sorry, okay,
So is it okay to be the last question because in the interest of time?
Okay, that's a follow-up.
Yeah.
Very quick, sorry. Okay, so you've identified so many problems, right? And you mentioned that your main way of dealing with this internally is to invest more in the hall leaders. So how does investing more in the hall leaders and giving them more power actually solve the problems that you have just raised?
because hall leaders needs to give the correct impression to the juniors so that it will be sustainable. That is like
They are actually the leaders to lead
Yeah.
what like their vision is. So one thing we want to correct is that actually make sure that all the hall leaders are in line with like our visions,
Yes.
and also not just carry out the role for
Because
the
they
sake
are
of
being
carrying
forced
out. Yeah.
onto the role. For many instances, right, like CCA leaders are being pushed to being the CCA leader because there aren't any other potential candidates, or the other potential candidates are being chosen by another CCAs, for example. But these people then set a bad example to the future juniors, which is not very healthy, and it is very unhealthy for the hall image and hall spirit in a sense. So like we need leaders to have the correct mindset of wanting to lead a certain group of people and then bring them to higher heights, greater heights. Yeah.
But this plan is very dependent on your CCA leaders being assertive and pushing your plan through. And it's you're sort of like removed from the entire scenario, right? Because if you don't have a CCA leader who pushes through your agenda for you, then your entire CCA is sort of gone. And I can say for sure not every CCA leader is of equal level of assertiveness or will push through in terms of what you guys have in mind. So how do you solve?
Okay, yeah. But I think this assumption then goes back to another assumption whereby all CCA leaders are not of that sort of caliber. Out of maybe like wait, so like for example, right, out of 10 CCA leaders, like honestly, like we can't have a perfect team. Like for example, like out of all the 42 CCAs, we can't have all 42 like extremely well-rounded and like extremely like passionate CCA leaders. As much as possible, we want to make them into what we want them to be. But they need to cooperate as well. It takes two hands to clap.
Yeah, so if they don't cooperate, then your plan fails.
No, but then a majority of the CCA leaders will be subscribing to our belief system. Then we will continue to move on. But for example, the small group of people, then we need to have the mass support to actually influence the small group of people. This is all like of like the mass influence whereby all the leaders actually know what their goal and objective is for each CCA. Yes.
Okay, but whatever you have just listed seems entirely dependent on the pool of people that you already have. So how feasible in the first place is this going to be? So shouldn't there be some executable plan that you can carry out, whether there is or there isn't a good quality of people?
So that brings us to the disconnect between the JCRC, whereby the JCRC sector directors need to be the one and making sure that each milestone is actually being met. The JCRC sector directors poses such great importance in making sure that all the different sectors are doing well and being accounted for. If the CCA leaders really fail to do their job, sector directors need to be the one reminding them.
So they are not just like the messenger between the SCRC and the core residents.
Yes.
Yeah, so they are actually leaders themselves, leading a group of people. Which is why we as in it's like our team we will choose who. Yeah, we will eventually choose who is gonna like kind of advocate for us.
Yeah, I mean like then it boils down to another potential question. What if my JCRC don't do what they are supposed to do?
Isn't that the issue?
Yeah, that's the issue, right? So that comes to where we need to be the one to make sure that our JCRC members are actually doing their job.
How?
We look at them Like I mean like this kind of thing, right? Like honestly, like right now we are all asking hypothetical questions. And then like what if like all my JCRC members are like maybe like all the selected feels that are incompetent? Then it really boils down to our ability of choosing the right people to actually join our team.
Okay, then as the sports director, do you think you have done this yourself this year?
I think like more of there's no as in okay, our vision as this year's JCRC team is that to balance between the excellence and the excellence and opportunity, but we settle more on the excellence side. Yeah. So a bit more, but not entirely. So like I feel like as for myself, I didn't just like pass message. As in there's no message between like for me. So I feel like I did being involved in this like my sector, but not very much involved because there's not enough time and like manpower to do it, and also everything is the ideas and like SMC structure and everything is very new, which is something that I keep learning. So I feel like I will tell my next batch, like my next sports director, to do this which I learned along the way, and I feel like they will have more potential to reach out to more people than I have, because they will have like a more rigid, it's not rigid, but like more solid plan as to what I have experienced that I hand over to them, something along those lines.
I think my question is similar to this in a way, like because you all mentioned about directors being connected to the sector itself, so since Celine is the current sports team, do you think that how much connection you think you had with your current batch of captain or let's say athletes?
Yeah, okay. I feel like as compared to Jiaqi, right, I don't really have that much of like I don't have that much of close relationship with my leaders, like my captains. But I feel like whatever that they need or they like tell me, I did like reflect it to my JCRC team. And whatever, for example, budget they need, I did reflect it. Like for example, the NPC, they need to change like the flooring and everything. I did reflect everything. And they need like I don't know, like friendly events and budget, more budget, which is not proposed before, and I did propose for them. So I feel like I will do whatever that as you reach out to me and I think is reasonable, and I process it like judge it critically, and then I reach out to people that can help you. Yeah, I feel like it's not more of a personal connection, but I feel like we are if you need help, I will be there, and whatever suggestion you have, I will be there to take in. But I feel like we just need to like work together. Yeah.
But that being said, I feel like as what Celine has said, like a lot of the messages were actually sent by her. But right now we need more sector directors to take out the initiative to have accountability check with each CCA leaders, which is what we are lacking of. And that will actually solve the question of like what if the CCA leaders actually fail to lead the team.
A concrete example.
Yes.
This year's yearbook head went at my name and Stefan took over the CCA.
Yes.
So in this particular instance, how will you propose to solve this issue? If you have, on the off chance that like a third of the leaders are all like gone, and you're working on the assumption that people are not doing their jobs because they are not in an environment where people want to do their jobs. But what if they just don't want to do their jobs?
But then it will go back to the question like.
I feel like we will take baby steps to.
Yeah,
like,
honestly, like for example, like no offense, yearbook, can that CCA be restructured?
Okay, sorry, I'll just generalize this question.
Yes.
Maybe don't focus it specifically. I think what we're all asking is, now that your plan is so dependent on CCA leaders following the lead, right? Do you have any contingencies in case this fails? And like, considering that this is the main plan they want to implement, right? You want to solve the issue of posture, right? And now that it's dependent on CCA leaders following the lead, if this fails, do you have any contingencies?
Also, can you mention like some concrete steps that you can solve this problem?
So one by one. So like his question about how we can actually like bring them and align them.
No, that's not my question. My question
Like we
is-
want to see concrete steps. We
Wait,
want like
Okay, as in, I'll just another question. Basically, what we're looking for is, you have a current plan of action, okay, that's your plan.
our contingency, right?
Yeah, so have you thought of plan A, C, D, or
So the
whatever? And
contingency-
what's your concrete steps for B, C, D if A doesn't work out?
So contingency plan will be fall back on the year ones, which is the freshies, because they are the most moldable people. So like, it's not gonna be like I'm gonna solely depend on the seniors or like leading the way and like paving the way for the juniors, but it will be like two-pronged. Like I mean, like if all the seniors don't cooperate and like none of the seniors actually like being part of the culture and like passing down the culture, then it defeats the purpose as well, like of having the seniors to be even staying in hall. But then like again, like our contingency plan will be like depending on the year ones who have actually a fresh state of mind and being the most moldable people in case and all. And like grooming them into future CCA leaders would actually make this sustainability project even going
I think
further.
if one concrete, you want a concrete like action plan is like, okay, plan A is actually the summit with the leaders, right?
Yes.
And then there are many more, but one of them. And then plan B is fall back to fascists. I think we can have the idea of getting like interviews or
I think one thing that is very important is that making the right impression in keyword. I think and OHE and keyword is the most important. How is in a sense that the OGLs need to set the right example.
But what if they don't?
So you still boils down to the seniors, right?
Yes, it boils down to be like.
Do
But I
you
mean, like-
have any plans that do not relate to, do not completely rely on the people?
Then we our external approach, which is to revamp the entire social media space. Because I think like right now our social media space is very dead, and honestly it's very like right now I think it only revived right during the open house period. Like open house period have done a fabulous job, but right now the social media before the open house period is actually very dead and not lively, and it's very people don't know what they are doing. It seems very sporadic and very random. And as compared to other house Instagram page, it feels like there's a certain structure and rhythm going in the social media space. But externally, we need to build that image first. So that's why it can't be just a singular pronged approach whereby just focus on the seniors, but it needs to be a two-pronged approach whereby the external side, the external factor needs to be taken care of, and then internally we need to sort out our issues.
Okay, sorry, thank you. In the interest of time, can we go on to the next few questions before
Can I give some suggestion? Try
Yes.
to digest the question first and then be more specific so that we don't waste time on the same question again and again. Okay.
I mean like the questions, I want to say right, the questions are very hypothetical, and it boils down to the very vicious cycle of like what if the seniors don't cooperate. But I mean like everyone here are seniors, and you guys want to have a stake in the hall. That's why you all guys will cooperate with
Yeah,
us.
that's just us.
Yeah, but I mean like all those live chat people lah. I'm just saying
Okay, let's just move on.
Sorry, our hypothesis is
yes.
It's
the
a
more likely scenario
actual,
rather than.
real problem.
Yeah.
We
Okay,
have
so
experienced it.
based on your experience in hall leader, right? Like going back to the, do you think all hall leaders are as dedicated as you are to your CCA? Because if the answer is no, right, our hypothesis is not a hypothesis anymore.
I would agree that not all hall leaders are as committed as I have been for hall lead, for example.
That's exactly.
But that doesn't mean that the majority are not dedicated.
So do you have a rough gauge on where?
But I mean like if you want me to like have a rough gauge, I would say that more than half is actually dedicated to their teams. I mean like for
Not
example
all,
like,
but I think certain.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
so,
wouldn't.
so if
Yes.
your plan is saying that you want to gather the CCA heads as a collective to help you do your work.
No
and-
wait, correct, it's not do my work,
Okay,
but
to
it's
help
more
you enforce or propagate your vision, then there is a likely scenario, even if they are dedicated to serving their team, right, that their values might not align with you, or like other extenuating circumstances where your vision and their execution don't line up. So like your plan is dependent on your vision and their execution being lined up. So what is the plan if it doesn't line up, essentially? That's the question that we are asking.
It brings down to a lot of proposals and like us actually.
like doing accountability check. It's all going down to checks and balances whereby if they fail to do their job, we need to be there to make sure that they do their job.
How are you going to make sure they do
Hunt
their
them
job?
down.
Maybe identify what it means by doing your job in a sense.
I mean like, for
Like you can say that like I'm doing my job, I'm doing the basic as my job, but I'm also doing more. Then like how do you gauge what is good and what is like minimal?
so taking hall play as an example, because I'm very familiar with hall play. So for example, like by maybe early bird sales, there isn't a certain target or a certain poster is not being out by then. Then maybe that is when the production director needs to come down and like say, hey, what are there any problems that you are facing? Like these are all the checks and balances
That's different from about hall spirit, right? That's like internally what you guys will do checks and
Yes.
balances. But in terms of hall spirit, how do you gauge who has done enough and who hasn't?
That's why, for example, like house spirit wise, right, it goes back to, I think our perception of house spirit is being like responsible to do their job. If they are responsible to do their job and be loyal to the hall as well, then like it will be boosting their house spirit. I mean that is my train of thought lah. Y'all may disagree.
I think
Yes.
our problem here is that so far
Sorry.
so far you've only been telling us your vision and what you want to see. But we haven't heard of anything that you want to carry out to be able to achieve this.
Like what? Okay, so one concrete plan would be like what Celine has repeatedly said, a hall leader summit whereby everyone, all the hall leaders get to mingle around in there. All
It's a hall leader
Yeah,
summit.
There is a hall leader summit,
That's not
but
what hall leader
that's
summit
not
is.
what we want, in the sense that each CCAs need to be familiar with each other CCAs in the whole sector. So like this is actually taking experience from my previous committee exco position in Center for the Arts in NUS, whereby there's this summit whereby all the leaders from each CCA actually like come down and know each other CCA leaders, and actually knowing each other CCA's leaders' working style and learn from each other and have like leadership skills to be learned.
So it will no longer just be a like briefing.
Yeah.
It will be like an interaction session, not like a meeting, but maybe like
Having-
a camp or something.
Because right now, right, like sector-wise, right, sectors are not performing together as a collective. Like each production is very, like for example, like production sector, again, that each production is working very individually, and the individualistic nature of that of this problem, right, makes the whole hall like it seems very bad. Like why market one CCA when we can market the entire CCA, entire hall, right? So like continue with that. I think.
So can we just wrap it up?
Okay, I just want to make a comment. So far, whatever we've heard from you, right? I think that you have a vision, but whether the outcome, we don't believe. I think the problem we have is that we don't believe that the outcome can be reasonably guaranteed. So
Yeah,
I think this is our problem, and I feel that you guys should go and think about it.
Yeah, I feel like why you guys are kind of not believing in us or trust us because there has not been like such a change.
I mean, this is, I feel like what all the seniors are believe that this is a very important problem. Because if this problem doesn't solve, honestly, no matter how big of a vision that we can have, this problem will just persist on. Because CCA leaders, some CCA leaders are just being vacant, the position being vacant, and people will just go on to and take up the position. So I think.
Okay, last thing to add on is that I feel like we are not here to actually make a, like for example, after our JCRC team for next year, the whole hall will change, like become, I don't know, a new KE will come out, something like that. But it's not like that. We want to make some small impacts that will be sustainable. That's what we wanted to do. Yeah. So because we can't do anything without starting anywhere. So what we are trying to do is start from somewhere, start small, and then after that we try to make it sustainable. That's what we want to do.
I mean, right now, right, one more point. So right now, right, if you think about like this problem persists on, but if we just escape from the problem, how can we encourage those leaders that are being pushed up to the position to be more active? Then if we need to face the problem and solve the problem.
So sorry,
Can I summarize then we move on?
Okay.
So what we want to hear is actually your plan. Like for example, hall leader camp, how you want to do it. Like for example, let people to mingle around. We have some leadership training. We want these plans, not just saying, oh, we want all the leaders
Yeah,
together.
actually I
around.
have been saying it over.
Yeah, we have been saying.
No, but you are very, very general statements.
Yes,
Okay.
But
please be more
Okay, but
specific.
Yes.
moving on.
Moving on.
sorry,
Yeah, moving
yes,
on.
Thank you. Moving on. So I think this question have
You
been.
just have to answer.
Yeah, it's answered already, so I'll just move on. So, process or result, which one is more important to you as a vice president?
I would say process, yeah. Because I think if we are results oriented, then like
As in, okay, you might say that we wanted to change anything, then why we choose process? But I feel like we have to try something. Yeah.
and we need to have the belief system down first. Like as what we have said, right, it's a sustainability project. Like we need to make it sustainable. Like if we can't do it like in the first year, right, we can guarantee like a huge change to be seen. Like that is so unrealistic, and that would be a blatant lie to actually say that we want a big change is going to happen within 1 year of term. Yes.
Okay, so you're talking about sustainability. So I presume you're referring to sustainability as future batches carrying on whatever you started, right? So what from your current batch of JCRC are you going to carry on? Because if you're not carrying on anything that they are doing, then there's no continuity. Then you cannot assume that the future batch will carry on what you're doing.
But right now, right, they already have the structure already. So what we are adopting is the structure of the different sectors.
What's
So
the structure?
having a production director, like what if we can just merge the production and culture director, the sectors together, and then have one? But we are not doing that. We are following still the same structure, but just that having that added complete plan.
Every year has a production and culture director. Every year, every JCRC talks about building a culture, and every year things don't happen. So what makes your vision different from the rest? That is in the structure that you're mentioning is bare bones,
Okay.
right?
I feel like we need to like gather the right people that we want, and I feel like I hope that people can trust us in getting those people that we want, like have the same vision as us to start up as a team. Because if everyone is so skeptical about our team, nothing will be done.
Yeah, I'm not skeptical about the team. You can't choose a CCA leader. They are already chosen by the time you take over the position.
Yes, precisely. Then we need to change the mindset of the CCA leaders that has been taken over. Taking over the CCA.
Because we also can't change the CCA leaders that you.
Yeah.
But yet again, I think my problem is that your results are entirely dependent on the people again.
That's why we are process oriented in the sense that we want to groom the right people. Like grooming, I mean like if you were to harvest yes.
I think you can groom leaders, but there must still be things that you do in order to ensure some level of result. So what is it? Can you tell us?
I mean the results will have been like we set a KPI for each CCA, and then like each CCA hits the certain KPI. That would be a form of results, an accountability check that I would say. But then like if you want to give me because like I mean how can you measure someone's horse spirit?
Precisely.
Yeah,
So I feel like
precisely.
people should feel it.
Yeah, it's like it's something that's intangible, but we need to still carry on to nurture that. Like we can't say that after 1 year of our term, everyone loves hot immediately.
Okay, I'm not asking for like let's
So what tangibles are you looking for?
like yes, you talk about you cannot like directly impact someone's horse spirit and it has to be done through the process. But I'm sure there are still initiatives that you can try to enact in order to create this horse spirit. You know, it cannot just be dependent on I'm going to bring leaders and they will pass it down. You get what I mean?
So what we are trying to do also is to have like more hall-wide events. If that is something that is tangible that you want to hear, it will be like hall-wide events having more hall-level presence. Like right now we don't have a lot of hall-level events that is happening.
I feel like there are some events, for example, not to target any event, but just an example, maybe like international night or something like that. People just do it for the sake of doing it, and there's no like substance in that. So that's what we want to change. We want to not just let leaders do, okay, this is what you have to do, international night, then do whatever that your seniors have done. That's not what we want. So we want something new, and even if it's completely different, we are fine with it as long as we think that they have the same mindset as us and they have the purpose in doing it. Yeah, that's what we like. Some events, but we want to see what the leaders actually propose or something.
Yeah, I mean right now if we were to give you one whole like laundry list of events, right, that is so unrealistic in the sense that I wouldn't know what the student body wants. And that would be a very, very dictatorship of I want this to be done. But I don't want that. I want a bottom up approach whereby student leaders, like CCA leaders, be more invested and tell us what they want to achieve.
Yeah.
For hall level wide events, maybe I would need to sit down with the JCRC team to actually understand what experiences or like what initiatives to try out in the next 1 year.
But that boils down to the question that we bring up again and again is that
Yes.
how like we really ask how are you sure your how leaders are going to function?
Okay, and another thing is, let's talk about the specific international that you brought up. So say your next person who organizes international night has no ideas. So you just carry on as plan. Is that your plan?
But
And
why are they having no ideas?
can you give me one exciting international night idea? What will make people want to turn up and what will make it not cookie cutter?
If people don't want this event, then we will just scrape it.
Yeah.
Then what other
Then
events
we
can
want
you
to do
go?
other things.
Then what other events can you go?
Then right now we can't give you the provide.
Why not? You're talking about having hall-wide events
Mhm.
that people are interested in turning up, but you can't give me a single event that people want to turn up to.
I think we want people to feedback to us what they
Yes.
want.
Like for example, if I were to think that a mahjong night is fun, but what if 90% of the hall doesn't like mahjong, and like people don't even know the tiles, what the tiles are for? Then like it will be only catering to a certain group of people that is not accurately accurate for
But
them.
if you don't feel like you know your hall by now.
Yes, I do think that I know the hall by now, but it's just that I don't want to just impose what my ideas are. I want to listen to the student body and actually do something that they actually enjoy and people will actually turn up. Yes?
Okay, so I feel that it's going nowhere currently. So I just want to say that what I think they're trying to say is that you are hedging your bets a lot on your incoming leaders. So like you are nurture them, but then you are hoping that they are good, they can provide you ideas. But where we are coming from is that we want to know what ideas you have, you know.
What's coming from you?
Yeah, what ideas you have to pass down to your leader saying that this is what we want, go and figure out and let me know what we can do. That's what I feel that is what we want to communicate over. This is not a question, like I just want to know that we should.
But I want to.
So let me just add on to his point, because let's just say that because your plans a lot on basically see what your upcoming leaders can offer, right? But let's just say give people a chance, like what Celine mentioned, when she just took over the sports team, she was totally lost. She don't know anything. She don't know what to do. She don't know what situation she's going to face. Then your upcoming leaders, I would say more than half of them will be facing the same situation. So they'll come up to you and tell you, oh, I don't know what to do for international night. So are you going to script every single hall event and redo a new thing?
That is why senior hand takeover needs to be done properly. Like if seniors are not handing down properly, then it will be the seniors at fault.
Okay, even if we hand down properly, right, they never execute the thing, they wouldn't know 100% of it. Celine has I think you understand. Even if I hand to you everything, I tell you every single details of what happened this year, what you need to do if this situation pop up, they still wouldn't know because they never physically experienced it. Yeah. So what are you going to do if you face this kind of leaders? Because you are going to heavily depend on them and execute your idealistic plan.
Then for example, maybe a hall play leader that is has zero concept about production, and he or she doesn't know what hall play needs to be done. He only seen the previous example of hall play. Then it is the seniors, not the seniors' job, but the juniors' job to actually ask what things to be done. Then if the juniors don't ask, and as the sector directors need to be chasing down the CC leaders, what do y'all not know? Then I solve the problem. Because right now, right, if you want me to list down concrete ideas, then I think it's a bit too dictatorship in a sense that I'm setting up this.
And too judgmental.
Yeah.
I think it's not that we don't trust you or anything, but it's just that as all the seniors, right, I think they experienced the whole life for long enough to say that actually a lot of problems actually really boils down to the culture of the hall. And that is the juice of it, how are you going to change the culture of the hall so that you have a batch of people who are enthusiastic about hall life and everything, which I think is very, very hard. And hall culture is not that you say I want to change, I can change. So we actually want to hear something that you actually have some plan about doing it, not just say that I wish this can happen, I wish that can happen. That's too idealistic because there are actually a lot of red tapes along the way also. Even if you want to do some changes, you may not be able to do it once you become JCRC or whatever. If you go and ask your seniors, actually you will know that certain red tapes you cannot remove them. So certain things you want to implement actually it may not come true. So we actually want to hear you do not only have this plan A, idealistic plan A, but you have other plans that if this thing don't turn out, you actually have other things to plan and to execute it out. Instead of, if this don't plan out, then I will see on the situation itself what I can do and then I will do it. That will be too late, I think, as a JCRC president and vice president.
Hold up.
No, not a question. I feel that
Yes.
I think we move on first from this because a lot of people have asked a lot of questions and then you are just
Thank you
asking
so
a lot of
much.
questions now. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. So can we
We answer just his question first, one last question. So I think
keep it in just 30 seconds.
okay, so actually just he said this we need to have like accountability. I think this all boils down to the JCRC and the president. We need to know what things need to be done and what things can be pushed up further. Also, our job as leaders, we need to set the basics, then push them to exceed what they can do. So I think that one really it depends on the sector directors need to be more involved in the various CCAs. Because right now we are really assuming that 100% of our whole CCA leaders are not motivated individuals, which I think that is a very untrue assumption. And why pinpoint on the certain few individuals who are negative? Why not focus on the positive leaders who actually have the vested interest in the CCAs, and why not have them influence the rest as well?
Okay, move on.
Okay, thank you. So can we just move on first? So so why do you think that people should join KE? So what do you think KE can provide to others, halls or residents or colleges?
Can you keep it short? Thanks.
Yeah, 1 minute. Thanks.
Okay, so I think for my reason why people should join KE is because I think we strike a very good balance between working hard and play hard. I think during the study period, I see a lot of people in the study room, which I think is a very good thing that people actually study together, with their hall friends, and not just play. Because I don't think that just playing would actually make it sustainable. Yeah.
And I think people should join KE because there are a lot. We are not very result oriented. So we take people who wants to have more opportunity to try out new things, which is I think something that a lot of people don't. Maybe in JC or poly they even try something before. Then KE is a platform for them to try out.
Okay.
Sorry, no, not really.
So next question is, suppose there is a misalignment between SCRC decisions and the hall residents' expectations. So as a JCRC president or vice president, how would you go about it?
I feel like in the first place, SCRC will not approve what we want is because Sohom has some
NUS
some
red
ideas,
tapes
something like
rules
that.
and regulations, but I feel like if it's something that is not unreasonable, that's being requested by the student body, why not? We will fight for it, and we will negotiate with the SCRC leaders. But I mean, if it's something that is unreasonable, then we will be the first barrier to actually turn it down. But honestly, if it's something that's reasonable, why not go ahead with it? And I think we will actually fight on.
Okay, thank you. So now moving on, we'll move on to the next, which I think most of the questions will be going through already lah. So let's do a quick one. So I believe that you have already mentioned about the production side and the sports side. Do you have anything else overview that you want to mention on community or media or the culture side?
I think at least for media side, we want to actually leverage on our existing strength in motion and vision. Because I think we are good at it, but
the people who are actually good at it are not maybe not staying or something like that. So they are not sustainable as a CCA. So it all boils down to, for example, you see vision, it's Stefan, and maybe motion, there are just a few heads working, So I feel like that's our overview, and our plans is not to be the CCA, right?
yeah, we want to do some restructural changes to how different CCAs can be maybe subsumed. Because I think right now we have 42 CCAs and it's really thinning out the talent pool.
And I feel like
Yeah, so basically if we have 500 student residents,
even 400, then you got 42 CCAs, and then you divide.
it's only 30
So,
plus 20 plus students.
If you fix it to each person take only 3 CCAs, each CCA will have around 28 to 30 committed, yes. Which
But that is only if we have 400 committed residents.
yes.
Yeah, so I mean, this is why we think that a restructure will be important.
First step.
But then a hall spirit, if we have the whole hall involved and be aligned with our vision, then we will have 28 members, committed members in at least 28 members in each CCA that's committed.
Okay, thank you. So next question is.
You say about restructuring some CCAs, right? What are the CCAs and how are you going to do
Not
it?
restructure CCA, but restructure the system, as in
The
how many CCA each person will take. We will
You are
of
already limiting.
as in, I feel like now you are limiting is the number of people in the CCA.
Yes.
Yeah. But we are thinking of limiting the number of CCAs that people can take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not the size itself, but whatever responsibility that I have. So I only have these 3 responsibilities.
Okay, so can you talk more about this system? How is it going to be feasible?
So like,
I feel like maybe for the first before recess week, then like people can try out. But at least they must declare. It's like secondary school, but not secondary school, but whereby they can declare like which CCAs are they gonna be committed. At least there's a certain sense of assurance that the people who are staying in will be committed to that CCA.
How will that be feasible to sports though? Before recess week, let people try out. Then if I just nice I form a team, before recess week they try already, after recess week I left with half of the team. How am I going to compete for IHG? Because my IHG will be upcoming in maybe four solid weeks of training only. How am I supposed to train up a solid team to compete in IHG with just 4 weeks?
I feel like this one maybe not before recess. Yeah.
We were thinking of a more concrete plan with the CCA leaders, honestly.
Yes, I think
Yes.
Yeah, but doesn't this contradict your idea of like,
Trying out.
yeah, a call of opportunity in a sense?
Which
I feel
is,
like,
but
there's
yeah.
a buffer period, but I feel like people should still be committed to what they want to try. So
Yeah, there's
not
people who want to try to do like 6 CCs and they can manage it, and then but then
Yes,
by
they
limiting
can.
the number of CCs they have, it means that you're limiting like your potential and stuff like that.
but I feel like they are very, very little, like maybe.
Then it goes back to the same logic of like how the minority CCA leaders are not the committed ones. Then like, are we gonna care about the minority? But in a sense that I understand the view of the minority being important. That's why the buffer period is there.
I think what Alyssa's trying to sorry, just to add on,
Yes.
that's not a question. I think what Alyssa's trying to say is that instead of pushing the lower bound up, you're pushing the upper bound down by limiting the number of CCs people can take. And I think that's what she's trying to say. When people can give more, you're stopping them from giving more.
But I think the restructure also involves the, for example, like what I said just now, like yearbook, right? It can be subsumed by vision. Or like, for example, like,
I disagree.
Okay.
but we'll see.
Wait, I got something.
Like, oh, okay, wait,
Sorry, yeah, sure.
like for example, like MAB or like HAB, like all these different boards, right, maybe can be taken up by one whole CCA itself.
Okay, so
Yes.
before you make this assumption, did you talk to the head before? And
Yes.
what are the issues that they face?
Which
And
is we want to do.
Which we want to do after we get elected. I mean, like right now, if we go around asking,
Maybe
like,
like too
if
much.
we too premature, like
Why?
honestly, like if we are not gonna be elected, then
I'm sure you have friends who are hall leaders. You yourselves are hall leaders. Shouldn't you have an?
yes. But right now, right, if we were to, because right now, if we were to like ask around, then like, I mean, why look back at
But
the
which
there was
hall leader will say they want the CCA closed down? So if you ask a hall leader, do you think our CCA should be merged with this CCA? Who will say yes? First of all, that creates the issue of continuity. So say, Dylan, okay not Dylan. After you merge, right? So if you merge the CCA, then you essentially lose 2 leaders. And these 2 leaders have signed up, and they make the assumption that with their extra 8 and 6 points respectively, they will be the same for the 3rd year. So if you merge these 2 CCAs, where do the leaders go? That's one issue. Second
wait,
issue,
I address the first issue first because my memory a bit there. So my first issue, right, is that why not take up another structure whereby the 4 CCA leaders are actually the exco of the CCA. They also earn leadership points. Like it's like hot day steering whereby each steering actually earns the CCA leader points. Then that is solve the problem of like the CCA leaders are not being justified on their work.
then where does the line be drawn when how many leaders can you have? I can elect half my team as a leader just to give them 6 points.
But then we need to do like a more comprehensive checks of like what we can do and what we cannot do. And of course right now it's very in a sense yeah too much of assumptions going on.
Then part 2 of the question.
Yes.
If you want to limit the number of hall people, the number of CCA people can join the hall. So I would assume, and I think it's a very sound assumption, that most people would join sports and culture CCAs. And say they join one sports, one culture, they have one committee. And I would say in the current hall climate, most people who are in committee CCAs have a lower commitment to the committee CCAs. So do you foresee any issues in recruitment and numbers in terms of committee CCAs?
Because then it will go back to the restructuring of the different committee CCAs, or like different CCAs, for example. Like when there's less CCAs to be chosen, then like all the more there will be more people in each CCA.
But you're assuming that you have a fixed pool of people
Vincent has a question.
It's okay,
Yes.
it's okay, you can go first.
who will commit to these CCAs, but that's obviously not the case.
But right now we are facing the talent pool.
I feel like right now what we are facing is that like people are not committed because there are too many things to do, too many responsibility, and maybe people are just not like taking things that they like, they have interest in, or maybe they just don't have so much time to invest in it.
Okay, but where is this assumption coming from?
Yeah, that's your assumption.
I mean, like, it can be seen from the attendance whereby, for example, some people actually join our play, but actually don't turn up. But they have like a lot of CCAs. But do we still keep his or her attendance? Yes, we still see him or her still appearing in our attendance sheet. So like, if we were to limit the number of CCAs they have joined, they would have joined hall play, and then we can all the more like stop wasting time texting the person, oh, are you coming for this session? Then it all boils down to the efficiency of the whole system.
Sorry, I didn't. Can we do a 1 minute?
Wait, Vincent has a question.
Oh, sorry. You
Okay,
want
very fast, very fast.
Okay,
Okay,
thanks.
so you all say you want to limit the number of CCAs open and join. Okay, I personally think it's a very good idea, but just that I think you all haven't planned it out yet. But how would you all tackle the fact that we need whole points to stay, right? So for example, you limit my CCA to 4 CCAs and everybody gets 4 CCAs. Then we are forced to commit to that 4 CCAs. And let's say I commit, like everyone in the hall commits to all 4 CCAs, right? So how would you split up a person that say, for example, for me, I can play other sports also, and like, but I only can play 4 because you all only limit me to 4 CCAs. So how would you split a person, say, for like someone that can actually commit to more CCAs compared to someone who can just commit to that 4 and like just do it badly?
I mean, that is
I think this one idea that I just suddenly come up with, which is like, okay, for example, we cap it at 3 CCAs. Then maybe we can look at the attendance, as in you can join other CCA, but we will take, which is like the same thing as
right now, right, I think with the structure of intermediate and like major CCAs, it will be a good gauge to see the commitment level. And then like, for example, like if he or she has the spare time to go for other trainings or like go for other sports matches, then like it shows the potential of like you having the potential to be even stretched further. Then why not give you bonus points?
Then who decides?
Then the sector directors need to sit down and together and then discuss the point system together. Like this, I mean like as scientifically as possible, right? We need to judge the commitment level of each person.
Yeah, okay, so your idea is to go down to individual level and just assess whether each individual person can exceed the limit that you are setting because you feel that most people cannot handle a certain number of CCAs.
As in not like cannot handle,
Yeah, but we are directing them
sustainably.
to commit to the force.
But at the same time, we want to say that some people can do more.
But then that it boils down to what Vincent is asking, or what if he can do more?
As in,
Yeah, so we want to know your response to that.
if
So
he
if someone can do more, but your system limits them to 3 CCAs.
I feel like
I think this-
we can
yes.
take this elsewhere.
We were addressing Ernest's question. Is that I think right now, right, people are just overly committed, and that painting that people can do like 4 to 5 CCAs perfectly, having the 4 CCAs based very committed 100% for each, right, is very idealistic. Honestly, I don't think anyone can have
we
it
all
all.
agree on that.
Huh?
We all agree on that.
Yes, precisely. So having the assumption that people actually exceed 400% for these 4 CCAs is actually very much hypothetical.
Yeah, the question is,
How can we solve that?
Yes.
That will boil down to the anomalies that we are going to face. Right? The anomalies will not be.
it's not anomalies if I could say probably everybody in this room can do more than 3 CCAs, right?
Yes.
So are you going to go down to every single person and decide that?
But
Okay,
right
I
now,
want to add on first.
yes.
I think this system is happening in some of the other halls, and it's functioning not only because they already have a substantial talent pool, so they are focusing their talent in this 4 CCAs or 3 CCAs. But in case, we do not. So, for example, right, a hall overachiever in KE could possibly do like 4, 5, 6 CCAs, and they would give us excellent results in these CCAs. And I think this is not an exception. I think this is the norm.
But how, then I'll ask you, then how many people do you think hold these 5 or 6 CCAs and then is committed to these exercises?
But some people 60% is more than some people's 100%.
Yeah.
Yes, precisely.
Especially for KE.
But right now we are facing a dwindling talent pool here. Like our talent pool is small in the first place.
To back up what Hannah says is that we don't have, okay, you say each person, like for example sitting here, right, we are all like having 4 or 5 CCAs, but I'm sure we don't have the time to even go 100% to each CCA. And for myself, I can say that I'm in hall play, but I'm not like 100% down there to do all my work, but I take my work offline or something like that. But I'm not like physically seen like down on the ground, yeah. I feel like that's what we want, like people being there and being committed. Yeah.
Okay, but let's take the extreme case of a very good sports person. If you put this plan into action, right, that means right, this sports person cannot play for a lot of the other sports that he's able to play. Although he has a lower commitment rate, he's able to achieve more results than anyone who is able to commit full time.
Then another discounting fact would be what would the other team members feel when like the person don't even show up for trainings and I show up every week, but I don't get to play in IHG. I think then that will be going to results oriented instead of process oriented.
You earlier mentioned you mentioned earlier that you think having results is important to creating culture.
We just now said process oriented, right? But
she said
I said
people must win. We must win.
Yes,
so if you are limiting our wins for your process, then
no,
how does this system work?
I feel like I did say people will only go down if the team is winning, but I also say that the main problem is the culture, yeah, which is all boils down to what we wanted to do. And I didn't want to like focus everything on like, oh, this team like has not win anything, then they must win. I didn't want to focus on making this team win so the people will count. That's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I summarize as, so you said it as 3 max CCAs. So even though...
No, I don't think we should. We should
like,
really
like... I just want to understand your
stance.
stand. Okay, like for example, if you have a IVP for 4 sports, then let's say you set it as 3, you will just ban her from joining the 4th one.
I think if she can achieve and help the 3 other teams, not just in terms of result, but also like the team spirit and everything, I think I have, like, by bringing this IVP member into our hall has already done a lot more than just anything.
Sorry, I think the basis will be having the 3 committed CCAs, doing 100% first. Then you can go and achieve more. Yes.
Yes, I think that I actually have a solution for this, but I think can we move on because there are still a lot of questions.
Sorry, can we do like a 2-minute break because the equipment is breaking down. So we need like a 2-minute. Can we have a 2-minute water break? Sorry.
Can you just like say I think like limiting people to CCAs, right? It's kind of an idea there, but I would say that y'all need some, y'all need to see the overall picture and see how you're going to do it, because let's say we have 5 sectors. Actually these 5 different sectors, they all have their own characteristics in a way. So it may work on committee, but it won't work on your sport. Especially for our case sports, let's say we don't even look at our winning. You don't even have enough people to play. So if you, let's say you limit me to 2 sports, then you have 4 captains coming to me and ask me to join because it's not enough players.
So ground rules, right? For question, 1 minute for you to answer. Maximum, please. 3 follow-ups. Don't think it's much, okay, right? Okay, right? 3 follow-ups.
Okay.
Sure? Thank you. So, going on. So what are the short and long-term data policies that you should implement? I think you have already mentioned that quite a lot about structuring. And, okay, so what can we do to minimize the chances of KE taking in freshies who don't contribute to hall?
I think right now, we need to filter out the potential people in OHE first. I think that is the first step. Then like the OGF need to feedback like the right people to be getting into hall. That's the ultimate first step. We need to change the impression of people like, oh, K is not fun. Actually, K is so fun. Okay. Then like the second step would be
people who didn't go for OHE and also like whatever that they said. I know this one has been done like over and over again, but I think it's something that has to be done. So yeah, and also like
I think from OHE to keyword, the window we need to look through the applications and then like screen through who are the potential ones. I mean like those questionable ones, then we may call for interview if need be. Then like for keyword, we need to instill the right image of the hall. I think that is important.
Yeah, I think we also what we want to emphasize is like an impression that we want to have on the new freshies. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. Moving on. So there is previously from the rally speech, there is an emphasis on improving the culture. So what do you think is failing in the current K culture, and what do you think is specific ideas they want to
It's kind of addressed already.
Yeah.
Unless you want to take on anything.
Okay. So, presents and answer already. Okay, to Hannah, your portfolio has only been complete. So as a producer of portfolio this year, this question is a bit too specific, but basically, how are you going to ensure that there is like a density in K7 to maintain in contract?
I think one thing to note is that this year's hall play like expo that's taking over is actually it comes from a different blocks also. So I don't think there was a problem in my year 2 whereby I faced that all of my recruitment has been from GH. And I sense that problem as well because like on a very practical side of things, I need to sell tickets. So like if I have a lot of people from GH, then I can't sell more tickets. So that's a very practical and selfish reason. But can I repeat the question? So like I think that is because I started recruiting from GH, which is a problem I noticed and I want to reconcile. And I think the diversity of and especially like because both of us are from GH, right? Then there will be a certain form of bias that you guys think that we will have. But I think moving on, knowing that we will treat everyone the same.
Yeah, as in we will still have the big picture of what we really need to do and yeah.
Okay.
Wait, she has a question.
So the second question, I want to hear the answer.
No, can we add on to the question just now first? So, how would you tackle this problem? Would you set a block quota for each CCA? And how do you prevent this from happening?
Honestly, I don't think it's fair to set a block quota. Because like that would be like, that is unfair, and I don't think that should be. But we need to, how to say like
so as a vice president and president, what would you do if this happens again?
I mean like, I don't see it as something wrong that a certain CCA has so many certain blocks.
It's just that this certain like potential people come from the same coincidence.
But one thing to note is that the sector directors then need to come in to make sure that this cult or this gathering is not something that is unhealthy and that is very toxic in nature.
Like
For instance,
they also reach out to other. I think that's where the leaders will come in.
Then like for instance, like a certain CCA may be coming from a certain group, then they become very obscure and very not obscure but like very secluded from the other hall residents. Then it becomes very toxic. That's where the sector director needs to come in and stop that certain unhealthy relationship to be formed. Some question? Yes?
The second question.
Actually, that was one of the points that the live chat is also asking about.
Yes.
So you mentioned that you want to increase K's presence in NUS. So more concretely, how do you want to achieve?
Like just now, Kenneth mentioned is the social media side, like externally, which I think you have already heard about, like social media side, right? That's what
Yes.
Yeah. And so.
And I think also moving on, the people need to be more
like vocal about our branding.
Yeah. So one thing about hall-wide events, right, can be like having a photo booth, then like people taking photos and hashtag hashtag
That's
the
one of
certain
the
events.
way lah.
Like I mean like for example like I was a GH.com. Then like we have a GH photo booth for every event.
Almost every event.
For the past 7. Then it sort of raises the presence of GH significantly, I would say. And like for other blogs to actually have photo booths as well. I think it has showed the impact that actually people, when they post pictures about the photo booth or what, it can be seen more.
Yeah.
Yes.
You mentioned that the people need to be more vocal about their about KE, right? So how are you gonna enforce that? Because just because you have the event doesn't mean that many people will participate in it.
Yeah, that boils down to like
The
what
initiatives.
events we want to have and also how we're gonna carry out and like how we're gonna market this. As in like make sure like the producer side is actually doing what is in line to what we want. Yeah. I think we will focus more.
And also like for example like having like prizes to be won by doing the Insta stories or something like that. Like I think that is like within NUS like people can keep on seeing other halls Insta stories and Insta snaps of the hashtags and all. But I think it boils down back to us why didn't we have it during our term? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Apart from social media, what other external platforms do you propose that we can market KE?
Apart from that, I think we can touch base with our alumni because I think we have a strong history of 100 years plus. Then like we have so many alumni, and like I mean we need to tap on to successful alumni to.
Yeah, and also I feel like we don't really use, it's not like use, but also tap on this pool of people. I feel like it's very detached from the leaders to actually think of, as in, okay, I'm not sure about the open house or thing, but I think for production sites, we actually do tap on this, yeah. And I feel like other CCAs could do the same also.
Tap on them how?
This is just for example,
like sponsor, but not exactly sponsor, but also just make them, as in give free tickets, invite them to actually come down and watch your production. Also, actually like invite potential alumni, like people who are, for example, this year Hopley is in healthcare kind of thing. So we invited some doctors who actually are from KE, yeah, something like that.
I think one point to add on is that one last sentence is that this year's JCRC team don't have a marketing director, and there's no one doing marketing. I don't know whether it's true, but like, as of now, but so like the previous years, right, they do have a marketing director. So like, I think we can bring that back.
Okay, thank you. So, I will be skipping a few questions due to time constraint. So one question that has been raised again in the live chat is how would you ensure a fair distribution of resource of funds in RCC? The last one. Yeah.
I feel like being in the current team, right, is like, what do you mean by fair distribution as to as in it boils down to what big tickets you need to buy or like what is the amount resources that you need. Yeah, so I feel like we will allocate reasonably based on what they need and what the CCA leaders actually reflected to us.
What is reasonable? If one CCA has a coach that costs 10K, and one CCA has another coach that costs 2K. I don't know anything about sports, so don't quote my numbers, but and say the one that 10K is doing fine, but the one that need 2K is doing badly or like not placing. Then so how would you say, I want to limit this one, and how do I want to celebrate that?
I feel like why you think there's such a huge amount of coaching fees being pumped into certain CCAs is because of the nature of that CCA is actually I don't know whether I should be specific, but very, as in you need safety issues, okay, which SCRC is very, very concerned about. So something that this current batch of JCRC is also fighting to actually reduce it, which is something that we are progressively trying to do it, but I think there are certain concerns for hall, for example, like the diversity of the culture in hall and everything that the SCRC team wish to preserve. Yeah, something like that.
Okay, sorry. sorry, I just want to go back a bit about investing in CCA leaders, right? I think something that you also need to consider is that CCA leaders also have their own agenda to push with in terms to their own CCA as compared to pushing the hall's agenda. And I'll give you a very real life scenario, right? Okay, so I've been in the hall for 3 years and I've been here for 3 IBGs, right? IBG is our core event that's intended for freshies to expose themselves to sports. But at the same time, concurrently, there's many culture CCAs, for example, like dance, titans, choir, that concurrently hold auditions during this period. And they have their own fair reasons to do so, because they want to take in members earlier so that they can start their performances earlier. So, keeping in mind that this is a very real-life scenario, and there's going to be many instances where CCA leaders are inclined to push the agenda of their own CCA over the house agenda, how do you actually go back to, does the validity of the plan still remain, firstly, and secondly, how do you deal with cases like this? And you can even use the IBG case as a scenario.
I would think that this is a case of like the sector directors didn't really coordinate with each other. For example, like why the sporting events, if the sporting events were to hold from this period to this period, why can't the audition be held during the weekends? Maybe Sunday night? I mean like Sunday night is, okay, maybe that's why coordination like needs to be done. For example, maybe it's just an audition. Then like people want to get a CCA. They don't want to come for audition.
So will you make more concrete decisions to like ban stuff that prevents CCA leaders from pushing their own CCA agenda over their own agenda?
I think I would do that.
Okay, sure. So next one we'll move on to like evaluation of current measures. So first, is it possible for residents to have a platform where we can propose to CCAs?
Oh, I think.
As of now, I
As of
think
now, I think.
we are open to suggestions,
Yes,
but right now we face the problem of there's too many CCAs to be subscribed to. So I mean, perhaps you have a very good idea.
I think we can start with an interest group first, but not like a concrete CCA to start with, yeah.
Okay, sure. So IBG one answered already, and the next one is under the current system, residents need contrasting CCAs to stay. So what do you think was the rationale of that? And let's say if a person who have obtained enough hall points without contrasting CCAs and they are not eligible to stay. So is it fair to say that such system is penalizing them for not having a wide interest?
Yeah, as in what we want is like diversity.
Yeah, I think the rationale behind this, right, is like, for example, the sports team not having enough players. That's why this rule were to implement so that people encourage people to join a sport, even though they are not inclined to sports.
Yeah.
But for example, like maybe they are very inclined to production, then like they join culture, then they don't join sport. Then like, I think what we want to celebrate is the diversity of.
I think we don't just say sports lah, but at least a contrasting CCA. Yeah.
Why?
As in boils down to the diversity, or we don't want like an exclusive group.
I mean like right now we go back to our fundamentals of we allowing people to try out as well. So why not? Uni is a very good ground for people to explore and like try out new things.
And also like if you try out CCA from other sectors, you get to know other people, which like you get to learn other things, and sense of attachment is different from you just have from sports. Yeah.
So your position is that
People should still try, but limit the number of CCAs they can join.
Then what about our brand as the hall of opportunity?
There's still a buffer period to try. You can still try.
I feel like 3 is quite a
Yeah.
to actually to 100% commit to it.
Yeah. Because like the hall of opportunities is still very much concrete. It's just that people need to understand that there's a limitation of like the talent pool that we're facing.
It feels more like you are emphasizing excellence over opportunity because you want people to.
We are emphasizing on commitment over opportunity. I'd rather you try out something new and maybe commit to it fully. Or try out having the 3 out of the 3 seasons, having something that you're comfortable with, committing it fully. We want to fulfill all the grounds.
I think what we want is for people to take accountability as to what they sign up for, and also this give the leader a sense of like
assurance.
Yes, that they can actually carry what they have in mind out. Yeah.
Say in my case, I'm good in design. So I joined all design CCAs, right? But you've limited my number of CCAs to 3. So I'm forced to join a CCA that I have no interest in, not good at, in order to stay. So say I'm in hall play, I'm in hall play parks, I'm in year 2. And then now I have to join, I'm not telling anything, but I have to join for something, so I just join band. Then I can play a few chords, I play on the piano and that. Then I'm committed 100%, right? But at the same time, I am robbing someone else of the sport because I am forced to join the CCA and I'm being accepted based on whatever reason lah. And someone else who wants to join cannot join because even though they're interested, they're not as good as I am at it. So like, I feel like your plan has some conflicts in terms of points, in terms of opportunity/excellence. So like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I get what you mean, but right now is that we are going to this like spiral whereby what if the person has this interest and like what if all these things?
It's not if, because I find that most people, when they're good at something, right? So say, let's say Vincent is good at sports, then naturally, it's more likely that he'll be good at more sports, right? It's not likely that he'll be good at design, or not as likely that he'll be good at design or like singing. Not saying that people can't be multifaceted lah, but not everybody is.
But they don't join this kind of CCA which requires like some talent, but they can join like committee, I guess. Yeah.
But then it goes back to, we are here for process, not the results.
And we want people to join like hall to experience like diversity, which is not like something that they are already good at. Like, we want them to step out of their comfort zone.
I mean right now, right, like Kip's points, right, is like telling you that there's 4 CCAs max, there's a cap already. That's good, but people don't know the rules of the game. That's why people overtire themselves and not play the game well.
Actually, a lot of people don't know that.
There's only 4, max 4, or like 3 OSA points. 3 CCAs for OSA.
Okay, let me just try to wrap this up for you. Actually, I think this one goes back to the limiting people for number of CCAs, and I think this is rather very major change, which I think they also need more time to go and think of a solid plan, because like what I mentioned just now, 5 sectors all different from each other. I'm sure that they need more time to come out with a plan that actually suits every sector differently and everything. So and I also would like to maybe let y'all think about it on maybe some exceptions that y'all may want to make lah. Because for myself, for example, like I'm certain that I can juggle 4 sports at least at the same time. I can hit 80% of the training attendance. So if you have this kind of precedence, are you going to make exceptions for them? Because they can hit, they can commit, and they can help you. Are you going to make exceptions? I think this kind of thing y'all can go and think about it, because it's a major change lah. So I don't think y'all.
But just like what we say, right, like if they hit the baseline already, why not let him or her do it?
So there will be exceptions lah.
Yeah. Yes.
I think one more thing we need to consider is that how are you going to protect the minor CCAs? Because if you're going to do this system, right, everyone will just try to. Yeah, they just want a major CCAs. How are you going to protect the minor CCAs? How are you going to protect people who are interested in doing minor CCAs?
Then we need to re-evaluate how can we do the major and minor CCAs and intermediate CCAs.
So we would like to hear more on this re-evaluation going forward.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Next question is, so currently CCA leaders are awarded with extra points for their contribution. However, not every CCA leader is good, as well as like not all JCRC directors are good. So in that case, who should be the one evaluating the performances? So should normal members have a say on this?
I mean, like I think this is a good suggestion in the sense that there's a peer like.
Before this, do you know how it works? Before this, do you know how the CCA leaders works?
So like the CCA leaders will get a certain number of points based on their attendance first. Then there's extra leadership points that's given by the JCRC directors.
And
SCRC. Yeah, so I mean, these are the caps, right? But I mean, like, I think this suggestion is good in the sense that the members actually have a say. Yeah.
So can I ask more about the JCRC part? So say I am a regular person and I don't like how a certain JCRC member is performing. I feel like from a layperson's point of view, he or she is not doing a good job. How can my opinion, or how will my opinion make any difference to you as president?
But I mean, like, it will have to be a substantial amount, like, it can't be just one person.
Yeah, but how are you going to get this figure? Will you be going out to get this figure?
Then I think this is a good suggestion that we should be adopting and then having like appraisals for the leaders.
Okay, sure. Okay. So next, sorry. So next question is: should certain sports CCA be closed down due to lack of participation from residents?
As you guys know, sports CCAs cannot be just easily closed down because you need, there's a mandatory rules in the IHG convening rules that says our halls must participate in this certain amount of sports CCA, which is why we cannot close them down. Yeah.
According to Prof.
According to-
you can close down, you can choose not to join IHG.
If you don't join, then there will be some penalty.
What penalties?
I forgot what is the penalty, but it's in the convening book, like the convening rules.
So can I flip this question and ask, will you be okay with not attending IHG? Will you be okay with not participating in IHG in exchange for having more commitment in the number of CCAs that you propose?
I mean, right now, right, the sports director is a very messy issue in the sense that the sports sector is a very messy issue, and then I'm not very familiar with sports, to be honest. But Celine is familiar, so.
Sorry, your question again,
My question is, since you're limiting, right? So it's inevitable that sports membership will go down.
Yeah.
So in this particular instance, right, will you be okay with KE not participating in IHG in exchange for your system of having people fully committed in their CCA?
But I feel like this system will make sure that you have at least certain amount of people in some sports. But okay, what Jia Qi had mentioned also, this concept and this system cannot be applied to all sectors, which is something that I think we need some time to actually go and figure it out. Yeah.
I mean, with the two brains of ours, right, it's very hard to actually consolidate generate as much concrete ideas as possible. I feel like right now we are just really touching the surface, and we need the help of the JCRC directors in the future, and also the CC leaders to actually feedback. Because right now, right, if we were to just give random ideas, I think everyone will be angry about it also.
Yeah, I just want to make a comment. You can say that you don't want to propose any ideas now because you feel that people will be angry at what you are saying. But conversely, I feel like you should be giving us ideas so that we can vote for you based on what you propose.
Which is why I say we want to invest on the CCA leaders, which we want to have the summit.
Okay,
and then
just a comment, I've heard this before, but just let it
so this is the concrete plans that we are pushing forward. So I don't understand what's the argument about
the issue is that it's not concrete. It's not concrete.
Also, I feel like
But okay, it's okay, I'm not done.
there's some misunderstanding about the role of the president and vice president. Personally, I feel like your job is to lead your team, and this includes setting out concrete goals and visions for them. But so far, what we keep hearing from you is that you are going to rely on your sector directors, you are going to rely on your hall leaders, and I think this is where all of us are concerned about.
But I think right now we know what we want to achieve for each sector. But
we want to hear more about that.
So for example, for production side, all the production should work collectively and promote as one whole sector. Because I feel like hall play marketing will be very tough to just tap on one certain market. For example, Chinese drama has so much production value and always have that constant stock
I want to hear this. Can you go through every sector?
Okay, so for production, that's why we need to market it together as collective.
Okay.
That's one. Then for culture side, we can have the nota be more well-rounded, and right now it's very being forced up to be on stage. So nota will be one checkpoint for that sector.
Sorry,
nota will be one checkpoint for the sector, so that we know how can it be done.
But nota is essentially our IBG. Nota is for exposure.
Yes. No.
Yes.
Nota is for
it's a showcase, but essentially it's for the freshies to experience being on stage and people to perform.
But it's not like IBG in the sense that they already are members.
But in a sense, it is a way for culture leaders to vet our members.
Because we have no other platform to do that, so that is essentially what we use as.
But you already have auditions.
You can't judge on auditions.
Yeah.
I can play a flute really well. I may not be able to play in a setting, in ensemble. I can sing very beautifully as an individual. I may not be able to blend in choir or in a kaka.
But with that, then it aligns with the sector directors listening to the CCA leaders.
But here, like, what we expect is some form of idea from you, but at every single point, like, for most of our questions, you keep telling us that this
You just need to hear more.
yeah, you just need to hear more, and you wish your sector director to set the direction, which shouldn't be the case because
But after they set the direction, then we need to approve the direction in the sense that is that the correct standard that we are achieving for?
I feel like we are not the like specialized people to talk about each sector, but we want to collab with the leaders and think together what is a better plan. Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Then why can I not? Okay, this is the question. What, say a random other person, other pair come and join and they have the exact same platform as you, what differentiates your brain or for discerning what is good and what is bad from this random other person?
But this random other person wouldn't have the vision of collecting them collectively together and grooming them as a whole.
Them is who?
The imaginary candidate that you are referring to.
Sorry, I'm not understanding what you're saying. What do you mean? They will not be together who?
Gather, like they don't have the same vision as us, like gathering the CCA leaders together.
But, okay, I should okay, never mind.
other sectors.
Okay.
Every JCRC gathers IGCC.
No, not this year.
Where?
Like the CCA leaders are not, the sector itself are not being asked to come together. The CCA leaders are not being accounted for.
Okay, so say culture side, what do I have to gain from Titans?
So
As
for
Akahi,
example,
as Akahi, what do I have to gain from Titans? Or what do I have to gain from dance? Say.
So for example, like dance and Titans, right? The sharing of venue, the venue booking issue that we all been like experiencing from the start.
I feel like what Kenneth wants is like
The
when
collaborative
people
efforts.
know each other and know what's their like what's the CCA, is understand more about each other, and then eventually there's no need for like a clash. They can just like very
Work
easily
together.
very easily work together.
But
Yes.
there are like 5 hours in a day where you can use the venue. Then there are 5 hours, there are what, 10 culture CCAs, and we all need to use the venue. It's not a matter of collaboration in this sense. It's like, it is opportunity cost. I can use the venue at the expense of someone else's time. And how would collaboration have this help? Am I supposed to share the venue with one song?
So the collaborative effort comes with like, how can we schedule it better? How can we prevent the clashes from happening? Which involves communication between the different CCAs in that sector. And the JCRC sector director needs to be there to enforce this communication to be happen.
Yes, okay, so can we just stop there? And okay, so basically this last question, which I think has been addressed already, about what kind of interblocks or what you guys are going to do. So now we'll be at the end of our debate.
Can I ask a question?
So
Yes.
yes, any
Do
last
you know-
questions?
Okay, so do you know why is there like there's no marketing director? Do you know why?
There's no one who signed up, is it? I would guess so, but honestly, if it's like if that's the case, then the finance director would have to double up. Or like the president and the vice president and the finance director needs to double up. Or like someone needs to double up within the same job capacity. Or the whole JCRC work together and promote this marketing strategy. Right now, as of now, right, I'm not receiving any sponsorship leads from my JCRC, which is honestly a very bad strategy in the sense that our hall, we have 500 residents, but right now I'm just promoting on hall play alone as a stage theatre.
Okay, I think what Kenneth wants to say is that you remove this marketing director position, but what he wants that this marketing idea still has to be there. Yeah, that's what he meant.
Yeah.
So
Because for individual production, normally you have your own marketing
Yes.
teams,
yeah,
right?
which is why
But the problem is, right, other halls has leads generated to all each sector so that they can have the leads, right, to follow up.
I think you have.
But it's not from channel to us. Simple as that.
And always there will be conflict between productions. Like for example, you're not you don't want to share some items, like for example tools. You don't want to share venues, or don't want to share like maybe your marketing partner. So how are you going to solve this problem?
But this communication needs to be done in the first
boils
place.
down to all the things
Yeah.
plan.
Like what if the production heads insist on something? I don't want to share my list. I don't want to share my partnership with you.
Then there needs to be a compromise. Right? Right now we are like you are also working on this like assumption whereby humans are just one-sided and like having just that selfish thought of I'm not going to share. But I mean like if
we're not saying we're not making that assumption. We're saying what if that happens.
Then the sector director needs to be there to make sure that some kind of compromise needs to be done, and some kind of things need to be negotiated. Right now, the discussion between the two CCAs are being led by the CCA leaders itself instead of the sector director, which is not. I don't think that should be the case. And in a sense that the sector director needs to be the one that rallies up the CCAs to actually work together as a collective whole.
Can I just make
Yes.
a comment? Like, I think from what you all said, right, a lot of things that you all are actually depending on the directors that you all are going together. And actually, I would like to say that it's not wrong if your directors only do the bare minimum of what they need to do. It's totally not wrong because it's not an obligation for them to do even more. It's purely based on their passion, how much they want to contribute to her, and how much time they can put in, how much time they want to commit. As long as I think they do the bare minimum, I think you or we cannot really fault them. But the thing is, how many of those passionate directors can you get? Yeah, because if you don't have this kind of passion, they cannot really commit over their responsibility. Right? You don't get people like really touch down to the residents. You won't get that full connection.
But right now it's like whereby what is the bare minimum then? Then we need to set the bare minimum for them and push them even more.
I think you're placing a lot of good faith in your potential JCRC, and that should, while that is a good thing, that should not be the case. We should still have contingency plans for all the possible scenarios that could have happened, because as much as your JCRC team may be committed, passionate, and good at what they do, there is always a possibility that perhaps maybe something's happened in their family and they aren't able to commit anymore, or certain priorities change.
Then the contingency plan will be down to the both of us.
But that's why what we wanted here in this session is your contingency plans, and this is what we did not get here.
I feel like right now the contingency plan will obviously be very boils down to us helping the sector directors. If the sector directors really face a problem and have an issue at home, obviously we can't discount them and then don't discount them, but more like we give them the leeway and then so that we can go down and help them. Because right now although we are not managing, we are like sort of overseeing the entire picture, but once one of the sector directors is down, right, then we need to step in. That's when we should be stepping in and helping.
Yeah, we just want to hear how you would have stepped in.
How would we step in? Yeah, like
we want to know the specifics.
So like meaning like for example like maybe the sports director is down. That means
in this example, you will lose one external, right? You lose an internal sports team. Then
Which is why
she's forced to take up two roles.
Yes.
And I don't feel like that's healthy for her. I don't feel like that's healthy for the sports sector. I don't feel that's healthy for the hall.
Which is why I feel like, no offense, but I feel like my leaders should have stepped up and have more plans as to how to help.
Yeah,
this
so
position.
what would you have done?
Yes, I feel like the other, maybe we can have the other sectors directors to actually understand and plan together, not just throw everything to this certain director to do whatever that he or she needs to do.
Yeah, but then as Jia said, right, every sector director already has their jobs.
Yes.
Every sector director has signed up for that level of
Okay, I
job.
feel like this is how it boils down to how JCRC team works. So within this team, maybe our new team works. So for example, hall play, okay, just because we two are in hall play, that's why I keep quoting hall play. So hall play is both of us, we are in hall play, and then there are a lot of different directors, and we always come together to update plans and everything about what's going on, and we plan out every single thing very, very specifically as to all the master line, into a master timeline, a master sheet like that. So everybody knows what is there to be done. But then this year's JCRC team, there's nothing like that, which boils down to everything is very, very much focused on this certain director, and that he or she has to do everything by himself, which is not being updated. No one is asking you, or your director, even your own leaders is not asking you what you are actually doing, and not being there physically to be which is what I feel like both of us will next time do?
Like we will do like how sector directors will do checks and balances with their own CCA leaders. We also need to have checks and balances with our own sector directors.
That's what I'm
So perhaps like adopting the appraisal forms, right? Maybe we can do it more of a regular basis, like maybe half quarterly, like half a sem then do an appraisal, or half a sem do another, and end of the sem another appraisal. But we can actually keep track of the what's the issue on the ground level. But I feel like that is again right how we gonna do our checks and balances. Because right now there's no checks and balances with regards from the sector director to the CCA leaders, and I assume that is because the leaders are not doing the appropriate checks and balances on the sector directors.
So what's your plan for the checks and balances within JCRC?
As in, our plan is that we are going to have a lot of meetings and within our own JCRCs, like even before the sem start, we're going to plan what we want to do. Yeah, this is like.
You have a retreat now, right? Before the sem start.
Yes.
Is that not sufficient? First thing.
Not sufficient.
Okay, so first thing that's not sufficient. Second thing is, how much do you expect of your future potential JCRC? Because, as I was previously saying, if I sign up for media director, right, and then say someone dropped out, and then now you are saying that I have to take on extra responsibility to cover for this person, which is a responsibility that I did not sign up for, and which was not previously agreed upon. Another thing is, another thing is like Stefan, since he's CCA leader MIA, right? Then am I supposed to step in and be the CCA leader?
I feel like there's always like to find someone who is like potential or like among the freshies, not just like as in you can always find someone like that to actually work together with that person. That's what I feel like. Even though the person might not be the ideal one, but I feel like if he or she is committed, and I feel like there's always that even just there's always one person who is always committed to that CCA.
But if there's one person that's committed to CCA, then we wouldn't have CCA leaders that are dropping out.
But
then that goes back to the question whereby the CCA leaders are not aligned properly.
But like I said, how do you align them if they're chosen before your time?
No, that's why after they have already pushed up to the shore already, right? We need to set them
But now they're being thrown the
page.
curveball. Now they're being thrown the curveball and they're saying, oh, now suddenly you have to align to this new vision, and this new CCA structure, this new this and that and this and that, which they did not sign up for.
I mean, for instance, right, when a CCA leader were to be pushed up to that position, right, then we need to understand what's her situation, what are her fears, and what is the potential downfalls that he or she may experience with the term. Then we need to follow closely with. That's how sector directors do checks and balances. That will be what we will be doing checks and balances whereby.
So I feel that the questions are getting a bit confused because I'm also getting a bit confused because like you're all over the place. Essentially, I feel like you're expecting too much of first your sector directors, expecting too much of your hall leaders, and expecting too much of the hall in general to align to this very demanding plan that you're setting up.
But is it wrong to have an expectation?
It's not wrong to have an expectation,
Yes.
but there must be a difference between your vision and how you can reasonably execute it. And this is what we're not saying.
Yeah, but we are thinking of doing baby steps. We are in the sense that we are not. We confirm won't be impacting the entire hall leaders to be like listening to us. Like I don't think it will be a good majority though. If we have if they really subscribe to our baby system. It's good enough. And I feel like that should be the case whereby the next juniors who is like undergoing like training and all by this CCA leaders will then continue to spread the positivity.
So, sorry, this is really taking too long. So, shall we cut and this will be the end of our debate. Thank you for those who are tuning in and thank you for those who actually came here and thanks to our candidates. We should answer. So, this is the QR code for voting. Let's see if you're on the vote now, you are doing a scan and stuff. So, thank you, have a good night, have a good rest, and yes, goodbye. Thanks.
Get caught on camera.
Steve,
Steve,
this